Welcome back to the last segment of the program. Earlier in the show, we talked with Wayne Slater of the Dallas Morning News about the presidential debates, and we've turned our attention now to a coming event. October the 25th is the Reveal Conference, and it's for pastors and church leaders to help them understand how to equip their church members to grow in their walk with Jesus. My guests are Callie Parkinson. She's joining us from the Chicago area, and John Musica, who is a local realtor and business manager with Service Realty. Callie, let's go back to your survey called Reveal. You have taken this from just your home church of Willow Creek to other churches around the country. How did those churches receive this survey? How did they become interested in doing it in their own churches?
You know, I ask them that often because one of the things I do all the time is talk to churches after they get their survey results and help them interpret what the numbers are telling them. And I ask them how they heard about Reveal, and oftentimes it's because they heard of it through a Willow Creek event of some kind, but a lot of it also is sort of word of mouth from other pastors that have taken the survey. So how they react to it, I think the primary reaction that I hear from pastors after they've had the survey taken by their congregants is that they are not at all surprised by the results. It's what the survey does is not so much show them something that is like night and day different than what they thought about their congregation, and that wouldn't make sense. It shouldn't do that. But it helps them really focus on the key things that are the most glaring in terms of the opportunities that their people really would take advantage of and need in order to grow in their faith most effectively. So it really, the survey results, I think really the reaction is often, I'm not surprised, but I'm disappointed because some of the things that pastors know that were issues in their congregations, like I think John referenced it earlier, like lack of reading the Bible. I mean, that's pretty pervasive. We see that in a lot of churches. While all pastors know that reading the Bible and I'll tell you, it is the most powerful catalyst of growth. Reflecting on Scripture is the most powerful catalyst of growth of everything we've ever studied in the Reveal work. But it varies dramatically from congregation to congregation in terms of how many people are actually reflecting on Scripture as part of a daily rhythm of life. The focus of this conference and what I'm excited about with it is this isn't about just declaring that is true. We know that's true, but we're uncovering sort of the how-tos, how churches who have found this out, what have they done, and how has that impacted their congregants? What are the practical ways they've really helped people who are so busy these days? Oh, my goodness, so busy. How have they helped people really get engaged in Scripture and make it part of their lives? And I think that's really, that is one of the things we'll talk about. We'll talk about many other things, but it's really a practical how to help their people get more engaged in Scripture and more on track with their spiritual lives.
Callie, there's something that you're going to discuss at the conference on October the 25th called SVI, the Spiritual Vitality Index. And, of course, you'll have lots of time at the conference to describe this, but just give us the headline. What is SVI?
This is fun. It's called the Spiritual Vitality Index, and it's basically a gauge. It's a number that any church who takes the survey receives, and the number is we generate the number by comparing key catalysts of growth that we know information from their congregants about, and we compare it to our benchmark database of well over 1,000 churches, and we give each church kind of a grade in a way. And it's not a grade of the church, it's sort of a grade of the spiritual maturity of the congregants. And I mentioned earlier, when we talked earlier, that the survey really, it does look at how people feel about their church, but it's very much a gauge of what are they doing outside of the church walls and outside of church activities. Are they engaged in spiritual practices? How are they feeling about their faith? Are they evangelizing? What's going on in their lives outside of the walls of the church? And that's very much part of this SBI. To get back to that, the grade is really very similar to the grades you got when you were in school. It's kind of like when you got a math test grade back when you were in the 8th grade and you had an 85 on it, you probably thought, well, hey, I did okay. And, on the scale of the Spiritual Vitality Index, you'd get that and you'd say, gee, my people are doing pretty well. And that would be true. Basically what we see is churches that have an SDI of 85 or above are in the top 5% of spiritual vitality in terms of how we measure it at Reveal, and churches that are in the 70s are more average, and churches that are in the 60s and even 50s are more in a troubled or we see a lot of like complacent churches where people have been coming to church for a long time, but they just haven't really connected with their faith in a life-based way. So that was a long answer. Do you want me to go on about that, or
well, I know that
pretty much answer the question?
I know that folks will be able to hear about this at the conference, and we do want you to attend the Reveal Conference on October the 25th. My guests are Callie Parkinson with the Reveal book and study, and also John Musica of Service Realty. John, why do you believe pastors and church leaders should attend this event, and what will they get out of it?
Well, just like you and I both need to go to the doctor every year to get a checkup, I think it's a great way for a church to go in and look and say, here's where we are, here's the effectiveness of our ministry. It allows a church to measure with good, hard data to say, this is where we are. And then they can say, based on knowing where we are, this is the way our ministry, this is this role this ministry is going to play, and this role this program is going to have. We don't want to have programs just to have programs, just to fill seats. We want them to be engaged, and we want them to have a purpose behind each of them to accomplish your mission and vision. So the thing I love about Reveal is that it gives you a way to measure where you are, and then one of the great things I love that Willow has done is they have not just said, okay, well, here's where you are, good luck, see ya. They've come up with, Callie and Greg wrote a book called Move, what the 1,000 churches reveal about their spiritual growth, and then they have continued to say, here's things you can do to take the results of Reveal and move it forward. So we're very excited. We hope your church will come, pastors that are listening, that they will bring maybe their minister of education, maybe some of their lay people. They will come and they will really engage. This is an interactive conference. It's not somewhere where you're going to sit and just listen. It's going to be interactive, and so that we're very excited and hope that many churches will come to hear this and take that hard look at themselves and find out where they are and where they need to go.
Callie Parkinson, we just have a couple of minutes left. If a pastor comes to this Reveal event on October the 25th, what are they going to walk away with? Will they have just learned about what other churches have done, or will they have some homework for themselves? What will they leave with?
You know what? I've done this type of day-long workshop in the past, and the feedback I've heard from pastors is that they walk away with more practical notes than they've ever taken at any conference. And that's not because it's really because of the wealth of insight that we have that, as John said, is very fact-based about how churches seem to activate these spiritual catalysts by doing certain things. And we talk at length about very practical ways that churches do that. So I think what they'll walk away with, I hope, is 20 pages of practical notes that they're going to take back and think about and say, you know what, even if I never take this survey, this Reveal survey, I have some practical ideas that I know I can execute and will help my people.
John Musica, give everyone who's listening the details. When, where, how much, how do they register, all of those things.
Okay, well, again, as we said earlier, it's Thursday, October 25th, 2012, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. We'll have a continental breakfast right before we get started. We will provide lunch. It will be at Watermark Community Church. They've got a great room on the second floor that we'll be using. So right there at 635 in Coit there in Dallas, so centrally located. We will be there again from 9 to 3. The cost to register is $49 per person, but for a table of 8, it's only $250. We wanted to make it to a great opportunity for churches to bring some of their staff or lay leaders. So we have those two options. They can go to reveal-northtexas.com, and they can go. There's a Register Now button. There's a great video. There's great conference details right there on the page. But if you click Register Now, you can register for the event right there. And we're just really excited about the churches that will come. And again, like Callie said, whether you take the Reveal study or not, I think you'll walk away with action items you can take back to really look and say, how can we do church better, how can we reach people and help our congregation, each member, grow spiritually.
My guests on this segment of Smart Talk have been Callie Parkinson and John Musica. We are inviting you to the Reveal Conference Thursday, October the 25th. Go to reveal-northtexas.com. Tell your pastor and church leaders about this. Callie and John, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to this great event.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Trey.
That's going to do it for today's program. I do want to thank Wayne Slater of the Dallas Morning News for helping us understand what's going on with the presidential race, specifically talking about the key debate this past Wednesday between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney. I also want to thank Callie Parkinson and John Musica for explaining to us the benefits of the Reveal Conference. I invite you to attend that event if you are a pastor or church leader. If you are not, please pass that information along to your pastor. The Reveal Conference coming up October the 25th. Go to reveal-northtexas.com to register. When you do that, please tell them that you heard about it on Smart Talk. Please join us Monday through Friday here on The Word at 10 a.m. for Faith Walk, our daily Bible teaching program. Join us Sundays at 4 p.m. for Smart Talk. And we invite you to worship with us at First Melissa, Sunday mornings at 9, 10:15, or 11:30 a.m. Go to firstmelissa.com to find out more information about our church home. Go to TreyGraham.com to find out more about our radio ministries or our upcoming trip to the Holy Land in April of next year, or give us a call at 972-838-2277. Hope you have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Sunday right here for more Smart Talk.